morning, good morning, good morning. I'll give everyone a second to jump on. Live, Facebook Live, but I'm also going to email this. So if you're not on Facebook, you're going to see this, but you're going to see a different version. Same version, different angle. You're going to see Amanda.
Hey, everyone.
All right, let me give everyone a second to jump on. Whoever can jump on. If not, I will leave this as a pinned post so you can always see it. When you guys come in, let me know. Leave a comment so I can know. I'm trying to get everybody's names and everybody's attached to everybody's face so I get to know everybody. I've had, I don't know, like a couple of thousand people go through the program, and I know almost everybody by name, by face. So as you guys come in, let me know who's here. Leave a little comment, and then I can see, get to know everybody, because I do want to get to know everybody. So give me about 20 seconds, and we'll see if anyone joins. And if not, I'll walk you guys through. Lizzie, first comment. Good to see you, Lizzie. Great to meet you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for taking the 6 weeks with me. I really appreciate it. I'm really excited about it. And right now, it's just you and I. We're having a one-on-one group conference call, Lizzie and I. All right, well, I'll get started. And as people come in, Lizzie, don't drop off. If you drop, don't drop off. If you drop off, then I'm just talking to Amanda.
Hey there. Yeah.
But I want to have a big party on this call. So, all right, well, let me get started here, and hopefully people will jump in. I know it's Monday morning, and like I said, I will send this to everybody that can't go. Lizzie, I'm just kidding. If you have to jump off, it's okay. You're here. All right. I need to know, Lizzie, do you have 10 minutes right now with me? I need 10 minutes to walk you through how I attack the week. How's that sound? 10 minutes. Okay, perfect. That sounds good. All right, well, let me get started. So first of all, I've been reading all these comments. Cool. I've been reading all the comments in the group. I read almost every single comment, but by the end of the day, I will have read everybody's welcome post. And great way for me to get a sense and vibe of the group. Great way for me to get to know everybody in the group. Thanks, Lizzie. And really get a sense of the momentum and the direction of everybody in the group. And one of the themes that I'm kind of feeling is there's a lot of goals and a lot of commonalities. I've also sensed that there's a little bit of feeling of people feeling overwhelmed. And I want to talk about what I do when I feel overwhelmed. Because, man, 4 kids under 9, multiple businesses, parents that are getting older that I'm taking care of, a lot of responsibility, a lot of things that I want to do. I feel mega overwhelmed. So here's what I do. So the first thing that I do, I have a 3-year-old, 3rd grade system, but it works. So the first thing that I do is I get everything out of my head and I put it on paper. So I have a 2 notebook system. So one notebook keeps a master list of everything that's on my mind. As it comes in, I write it down on this master list. It goes in a little notebook like this. And it could be everything from I have to get a gift for my son's friend's birthday to I want to write this in my book to I want to run this race. Whatever it is, I write everything down if I'm overwhelmed and I get it out of my head. It does 2 things. 1, it frees up energy. I don't have to remember it anymore. And 2, it all lives in one spot. Okay? It doesn't mean it's done. It doesn't mean I don't have to attack it. It just means it's out of my head. So everything goes out of my head into one book. Hey, Kev, into one notebook. The second thing that I do is I have like a daily running notebook, right? So every Sunday night, this is how I attack the week. Every Sunday night, the most important 15 minutes of the week is a Sunday night review session of the last week. Hey, Mike, I think, Kevin, can you hear me okay? Is a review session Sunday night of the past week, but more importantly, what does my week ahead look like? I look at my calendar and I prioritize what it is that I want to get done this week. So I have one notebook where it's just a running list of everything in my head when I'm overwhelmed goes to. I like to write it down because it shows that it's out of my head, it frees up energy, but I love crossing it off when I do things because it creates momentum. So I love not deleting in my phone or having it in my phone. I'm an old school. I need to write it down and cross it off because that builds momentum. And then the second book is my running list of things like that day that I need to do, prioritized by what moves the needle the most. So that every night before I go to bed, I make a list of what's important to me the next day. What am I attacking? The most important first. What's going to move the needle the next day? Every day. I never wing it. I can't afford to wing it anymore. Like, people are too good. You can't wing things anymore. It has to be planned out, mapped out, and organized. The best CEOs in the world, the highest level, they have 2 or 3 assistants. Then every day they hand them a piece of paper that says, here's what you have to go. At 11 o'clock, you have this meeting. At 11:15, you have to be here. At 11:30, you have to be here. We don't have 3 assistants. So we have to do it ourselves. Okay? We have to do it ourselves. So you make a list the night before of what does the day look like the next day to be super efficient. The second thing I do when I'm overwhelmed, all right? 1, get it out of my head. 2, I create momentum. Small wins every day. Like, that's so important. Something that I can build on that day that gives me hope, that makes that no matter what happens the rest of the day, I know that I checked something off of my off the box, and it just, that momentum feeds itself. So I like to start my day with a small win. It could be going for a run. It could be cleaning up my house. It could be attacking my emails. It could be whatever my morning ritual is that creates a win every day. Religiously, unwavering, I create momentum. Doesn't mean I'm not going to be overwhelmed the rest of the day, but if I get everything out of my head, I create a win. That's a really, really good thing. And then the third thing that I do, hey Jamie, the third thing I do is Amanda in my group, here she is,
Hello.
has a app called Mark Your Map that she's working on. And it's amazing. She can talk about that at another time. But for me, what I like to do is I like to mark my moments. We go through life and we have all these amazing little things that happen. And a lot of times we live in the home run. We need the home run moment, like, oh, the marathon or the big sale at a company. And those are amazing. But it's those little moments that happen all the time that if we're just running through life, we don't even see them. So I literally take a minute every day, man, and I mark the great moments. It could be watching my kids play. It could be like appreciating, like, I don't need a tragedy for appreciation. I don't need a tragedy in my life to wake me up and be like, whoa, oh, I need to change because someone got sick or something. I don't need a tragedy. I've been able to bottle that appreciation by marking the small things, okay? So it's really, really important to recognize every day. And what I do is I start my day with 3 things. I just think of 3 things that I'm grateful for. So if you're just joining, when I'm overwhelmed, I was saying I have a very simple system. I do 3 things. 1, I get everything out of my head and to create energy so I don't have the pressure of remembering it. I only have a limited amount of space up here. I can't bog it down with all these things that come at me, appointments and meetings and this and that. I put it all in a book, a running list. And then I pull from that list, what are the most important things to do that day, the night before, and I cross them off. That creates momentum and it feels damn good. The second thing is, like I said, I try to mark, not in order, but I try to mark my moments, and I try when good things happen. And the third thing is momentum, small wins. If I feel overwhelmed or stuck or in a rut, small wins. Yesterday, 2 days ago, did not want to run. Just got a colonoscopy. I had a lot of stuff coming at me. Parents are getting older, all this stuff. And I just said, you know what? I got to create something. Boom. Hour run, came back, felt much different. So that's really, really important. So shifting gears really quick to part 2 of this call, I'm only going to take about 3 minutes, is I wanted to focus on, again, on the notion around goals. We talked about it on the first call. We're going to talk about it a little bit more on the next call. But I just wanted to walk you through a real-time scenario for me. All right? Hey, Lisa. Hey, Boomer. I want to take you through a real-time scenario for me. It's been ongoing. It's been going on for 8 months, maybe even a year. I have been working on this thing with Apple. Okay, Boomer, you might have heard this story, but it keeps updating itself. And I have a music project that I've been working on. A lot of people are on my shoulders for this, are counting on me to find a home for it because that's how they're going to make a living. And it's a really cool project. It belongs at Apple. I thought it did. I flew to Apple, which is and I just want to walk you through the process, the drive, the non-quit and what I think what it takes to go from idea to completion. The movie in my head is to take this movie project and find it a home and have massive distribution with a disruptive platform that people love, providing something that I love that other people love. Kind of the definition of finding your purpose. Finding something you love, that you're good at, and providing a service that's amazing that people like, right? So I had this music project. I flew, it's a 4-hour, call it a 5-hour round trip to LA from where I am. I flew to LA, I think 8 times. That's 80 hours round trip flying to meet with Apple. Twice I went there, they canceled the meeting. Once I went there just to hand them, I didn't want to mail it, just to get the personal contact, 10 hours to hand them my deck. Just so I could get the 5 minutes with the guy, hey, I was in town, it's super important, just so we could start to build this, okay? Just so we could separate all the other FedExes from my FedEx, to put my face to the FedEx. All these meetings go on. I'm at the 9th inning with Apple. I'm about to, it's like we're negotiating. I hired this big time lawyer, and then they call me up and tell me they don't want to do it. First of all, fuck you, Apple. all those trips started to come back to me, and I was like, oh, I was so pissed because everyone in my camp thought we had this deal. It was the right fit. It felt so good. We were getting along. And they just didn't feel like they knew where it belonged within the company. They didn't think they could do it justice. It wasn't the right timing. But it was literally 80 hours of flight time and months. And I used that failure as fuel. Failure as fuel. I was so pissed, and I'm like, man, I don't care what happens. I'm gonna find a home. I already wrote an email that I was gonna send to everyone that dragged me down this road at Apple and what it was going to say when this thing was successful. And the movie, the end of the movie, it never changed. Still going to find a partner, still going to get it distributed, still going to get people that love it. The plot changed. Apple got written out of the plot. Now someone else has to come into the plot, but the goal is unwavering. And what happened was, yeah, I was down in the dumps for a couple of days, but it started to make me think, okay, if not Apple, who else? Who's the better partner? What would be a different way to do it? I'm always asking myself, man, how could I do it differently? How could I do it differently? And then I was like, boom. And I came up with a really untraditional, unorthodox partner. It's perfect for them, better than Apple, completely out of the box. But would be the only music product in this whole entire space, a space that reaches 50 million people a month. And so now I'm on a new direction. And if that doesn't work after 50 hours, a new direction. And if that doesn't work, a new direction. The goal doesn't change. The plot changes until I get to where it's going to be. So one day you guys are going to see this music project. But for now, I'm in the fight like everybody else. I'm using the failure as fuel, but the goal is unwavering. It just forces me to think differently. And sometimes that loss, whatever it is, it could be not making it in a race. It could be Boomer on this call not making his burpee goal. Whatever it is, it's just that failure becomes fuel for whatever it is that you want to do. So I wanted to cover those two things today. The first one was what I do when I'm overwhelmed, right? Which I went over if you're just joining. Real quick, I get it out of my head. I have a 2-journal system. I put it in a master book where everything lives. And then I go through that book and I pick the things that I want to do the night before to strategize on how I'm going to attack my day. I do not wing it during the day. I know what I have to move the needle in and I go after it, all right? You can't wing it anymore, man. We got to get organized. We have to know how we're going to do the day. The second thing is I create momentum. When I'm overwhelmed, when I'm in a rut, small wins. Small wins first. You don't need the home run. Small wins, small wins. And then the third thing was, what was my third thing, Amanda?
With the moments?
Mark my moments. There she is. Mark my moments. You know, as I go through the days when good things happen, I recognize them. When powerful moments, the small things, they happen all the time. We just don't grab them. When they happen, I grab them and I'm like, man, this is, even though it's a tough day, these amazing things are happening. These opportunities are out there. And it really helps me. It really helps me. And I wake up, like I said, 3 things in the morning. What am I mega grateful for? How do I bottle that feeling of gratitude that happens when there's a tragedy? Like, oh, I'm so glad that I have this, this, and this. You don't need a tragedy to be grateful. I try to bottle that. And then to the goals, movie in my head, it's unwavering. We're going to talk about the steps and the process and some of the things on Thursday, I'm sorry. But that's the strategy. You know, of course, man, I hear a lot of no's. It doesn't come easy. It doesn't come easy. There's days I don't want to run when I'm training. It doesn't come easy. But that's the step, you know, and that's the evolution. The goal is crystal clear. I see it. I see the release party. You guys are all invited. It's in my head. I just got to bring it there. All right? So it's a little bit of a plot twist right now, but the movie at the end is the same. So thank you guys. I'll leave this up as a post every Monday morning, 9:10. I'll come on here and do a Bananas with Jesse. We have a question and answer tomorrow at 4 o'clock. And then the next call, Won't Stop Mentality, developing a won't stop mentality. It's one of my favorites on Thursday. I think you're going to get a ton out of it. And I will email this to the group as well. Thank you guys.